Yesterday, I went outside amongst the world for the first time in 5 weeks, and it just seems really different. If nothing else, the gas prices, which probably don't matter to you, have seemingly cut. They're half of what they were last time I went out. So, there's that. Anyway, if you're still with me, and if you are still with me, I really, really, really appreciate it and think it will benefit you, not even in the very long term, next year. But that said, if you're still with me, you've finished the play. You've got a thesis, you have got quotes, you've got main ideas, and you are ready to write an essay. Right now, I'm going to go over quote blends and citations. This ultimately is what really makes writing, or one of the key things that makes an essay much more advanced, is what you do with your quotes and how you put them in your essay. Just to really make it absolutely clear, you're writing an essay, you have read a play, you've got a focus character, you've got a focus theme. You are trying to analyze how a particular theme is demonstrated by the author through that character. So for example, let's say your character is Benita. How does the idea of identity, what is the author saying about identity through Benita, for example? What is the author saying about generations through Mama? What is the author saying about dignity and disgrace through Ruth, etc., etc., etc. Okay, quote blends. With that said, damn all the eggs that ever was. That is a quote. It comes directly from the book. It comes directly from the play. It is a quote bomb, however, because there's no context. I don't know who said it. I don't know what point you're trying to make. I don't know what's going on in the play. That makes it a quote bomb. It's just kind of a quote. Boom. There it is. A quote is put into an essay, but the quote isn't given any explanation or context. It's just there. That is a quote bomb. What makes it a quote blend is when you take somebody else's words and you blend them into your own writing. While doing so, it is given context. Who said it? What's happening in the story when it's said? I really want to stress, and I will show you in a second, but this blend shouldn't take 2, 3, 4 sentences. At most, it should take a sentence, maybe half a sentence. Really not more than that. You don't need to do more than that. Here is an example. Ruth tells Walter to eat his eggs, and Walter, who is frustrated because he feels nobody listens to him, responds, "Damn all the eggs that ever was." So look at that quote. I know who said it. Walter said it. I know what's going on when he said it. Ruth is talking to Walter and telling him to eat his eggs. I know why Walter said it. Because he's frustrated, because he feels nobody listens to him. That is what's going on. I know all of that, and there's one sentence before the actual quote. That's all I need to know. That is a quote blend. This should not take a huge lead in, as I've already said. One sentence or less should be enough to give all the info the reader needs to understand your quote and to blend it in your own writing. With that said, it should be blended smoothly. That means it's grammatically correct into your own writing. Furthermore, there are multiple ways to do a quote blend. But in this case, which is the way most of you will do it anyway, a comma is required before the quote. You will get to the other ways to do a quote blend next year, but it helps if you know this basic quote blend. Now, again, looking at it again, Ruth tells Walter to eat his eggs, and Walter, who is frustrated because he feels nobody listens to him, responds, "Damn all the eggs that ever was." It is grammatically correct. There is a comma before responds. I know who said it. I know who they're talking to. I know what's going on. I know why it is said. That's what a quote blend looks like. You won't let, so yeah, that's quote blends. It is that simple, but it's not that simple to grasp. You know, it's just you do it over and over and you get good at it. Citation, which is the thing right after the quote, the thing in parentheses. We were going to do more in-depth citations. You know, stuff happened, and so we couldn't. So it's just kind of like your first essay. You have one source. So the citation is technically pretty simple. All you need is the page number. The page number goes in parentheses at the end of the sentence. The parentheses with the page number inside go after the quote is ended. And the terminal punctuation, that's the final punctuation, whether it's a period, question mark, or exclamation point, goes after the final parentheses. So let's look at that again. Damn all the eggs that ever was. There it is, 34. All right, number 1, 34 is in parentheses. That is the page number. 2, the terminal punctuation is after the parentheses. 3, the actual parentheses with the number in it is after the quote. That is how you do it. As I said, it's basically pretty easy, but there's only 2 ways to do it, perfect and not perfect. So that's quote blends. That is citations. And I just want to remind you as it concerns the link. The link is really the hardest part of the essay because, you know, as a person, you get stuck in your own head and you don't realize that what you're thinking is not clear to everybody. But I want to remind you, the link is the most important part of the Melcon. It is where you explain your thinking and you have to be thorough and fully explain how the quote supports the thesis. The majority of your Melcon, your body paragraphs, should be links. That's what you're looking at for advanced. Fully explain your thinking. Really look at your links and say, does that explain how this quote supports this thesis? If it doesn't fully explain it, you're not there yet. So in the case of actual grading, which again is iffy at this point, remember your grade cannot go down. And you, given the time we have, you have as much time and as much feedback as I can give you to get that essay as good as it can humanly be. And if that means you revise it 7 times, then that's fine with me. So, an advanced presentation of evidence, you have your textual evidence. It's relevant, it's appropriate. It's fluidly integrated into the writing. It's grammatically correct. There are at least 2 quotes per paragraph. It is clearly explained and linked back to the thesis, and the citations are perfect and present. If you go to basic, there is no textual evidence, or it's missing. Or what's presented as textual evidence, it's probably a quote bomb. There might be no quotes used, or the quotes might be wrong, just misquoted. There might be no citations. It might not be explained at all. That's pretty much how it works. That's how the grading would be. This is really the most important part of the essay because it explains what's in your head. What's in the book is all fine and well, but how are you thinking about it? That's what matters. So, at this point, you should be ready to write. Your thesis and main ideas should be approved by me. I will also tell you where they stand on the rubric, and we can work to improve them if you'd like and as much as you like. Same with the main ideas. You have the quotes that you will use as evidence. Hopefully you're watching this Monday, Tuesday, whatever, but on Monday I will look at anything you've turned in, and if you've turned in a thesis, I will get back to you and tell you where you stand on that. If you go to Canvas, to a Raisin in the Sun module, you could see a Raisin in the Sun outlines. Choose the outline that best serves your needs. You could actually write in the outline, or you can write in a doc and use the outline to help guide you. There are 2 choices, outline number 1 and outline number 2. For most of you, you should choose the one that doesn't have the sentence starters, because that will just limit you. Again, you're not really looking for the only grade you want is a grade that improves your grade currently, and the best way to do that is to not really use the sentence starters. Some of you need them, and that's fine. But most of you don't. You want to really work with what the outline really should just serve to give you a framework into what you're writing, but most of the words should come from your own head. It will work out better that way for you. So once you're ready to write, copy and paste your thesis to the top of the doc, or the box that says thesis in the outline. Copy and paste your main ideas into the doc. Copy and paste your quotes into the doc under the appropriate main ideas. Now you're writing the quote blends, the links, the conclusions to your body paragraphs. And that's basically it. Once this is done in a doc, double space it, make it look like 2 to 3 body paragraphs. And if you're in the outline, you're going to have to do some copying and pasting to put it in a doc and make it look like 2 to 3 body paragraphs. Again, I want you to use the outline to help guide you, but you don't actually have to write in the outline if it's just a pain in the neck. And then you'll have your body paragraphs. You'll have your thesis, and next week we'll do the intro, the conclusion, and then you'll have a draft of a full essay. At the end of this week, you should ideally have the body paragraphs done. And then again, Again, grades are kind of wonky at this point. It can only improve your grade. My goal is to help you to write the best essay you can possibly write so that you're going into next year a mad essay writer. So that means if you revise it 5, 8, 9, 10 times and we get what was start maybe as a C to an A, that works with me. That's fine with me. We have time. We have the space. And again, those of you who are still with me, obviously this is something you value, and I value that. So, with that said, make sure you check out the conjunctive adverbs presentation, and I'll talk to you next week certainly, but at some time, if you have any questions, please email me. I'm pretty quick on answering. See you later.